ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमो नित्यं भद्रकाल्यै नमो नमः। वेद वेदांग वेदांत विद्यास्थानेभ्य एव च सरस्वती महाभागे विद्ये कमललोचने विद्यारूपे विशालाक्षि विद्यां देहि नमोऽस्तुते। यदक्षरं पदं भ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च तद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देहि प्रसीद परमेश्वरी। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भाः शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रीविद्योपासनासक्तम् श्रीविद्यापीठभूषणम् श्रीविद्याभिनवं वन्दे श्रीकृष्णानन्दसद्गुरुम्। श्रीविद्या पातु मां सदा। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So we saw in Tattvabodha a Prakarana Grantha, a text written by Bhagavan Adi Shankara, expounding the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta. Now Vedanta, shlokas, Vedanta, mantras are all part of the four Vedas. How they are different is the Veda mantras deal or speak of the three pursuits of mankind, which is dharma, artha, and kam. The Vedanta mantras are slightly different in the sense that they speak about the fourth pursuit, which is moksha. So all of these mantras are available in the Vedas. And we see that most people are in the pursuit of dharma, artha, kama. Dharma is very important. In fact, the Vedas, we call that, we speak of the four pursuits beginning from dharma. Though actually most people are engaged in the pursuit of artha, earning money, gaining security, wealth, possessions, property, because there is a sense of security that is required. As soon as a, being comes to life, he looks for protection, survival. But the Vedas say there is a proper way to look for that. There is a legitimate way that is in sync with the laws of nature, with Ishvara's commandments. Therefore, dharma is given. How one must look, how much one must look for pursuing artha as well as kama. So first, emphasis is on dharma. You understand this, one must be taught this, one must learn this way of life, living in harmony with existence and being part of, this coexistence. We are all interdependent. So, keeping this in mind, the Vedas deal with dharma, artha, kama, how rightfully to fulfill our desires. So it speaks of what we have to engage in, what we must avoid. Everything is clearly mentioned. How to go about it is also mentioned. But if you notice this Vedanta mantras, it speaks of moksha. Moksha from what? It speaks of liberation from all kinds of suffering. It speaks of putting an end to misery. So while pursuing dharma, artha, kama, if this person, the aspirant, has these questions in mind, why am I doing this? After all, what is there to gain? I have seen the world all around me. Everybody is in this pursuit. Nobody is happy. It comes to some people, this kind of questioning mind. So when they want to know deeper about life, where am I going after this? What is the purpose of my life? What is the meaning of my life? And this person sees suffering everywhere. Saying that in spite of performing all these actions and getting whatever I want, I'm still not fulfilled. I'm not satisfied. And there seems to be no end to my continuously seeking this happiness. To such a person who is able to see this very clearly, for most of us, we even listen to Vedanta Shastra as part of, okay, I'm listening to so many books, I'm reading this author, I'm reading that author, it is good time pass, it is a form of recreation. Then such a person is not yet ready for moksha because he is not even seeking. It is out of curiosity or just interest that he is reading these books. Some people, even for their own intellectual satisfaction, they will take up to it. But Vedanta Shastra deals with moksha for the true aspirant who is genuinely seeking to liberate himself from all suffering. The Vedanta mantras say there is a way to put an end. And all suffering comes because one doesn't know the true nature of oneself. Knowing that alone will redeem you. Okay. So while you are performing, you are pursuing dharma, artha, kama, you are required to hold an identity. And it is via that only that you will transact. But when you come to Vedanta Shastra, it is all about dissolving this identity. Because the Shastras, Vedanta Shastra says, our Advaitic philosophy is one of monotheism. There is oneness that is spoken. There is no other. This oneness should be understood, recognized. The self in me is the self in all. There is only that one. Once this is known, then a person is free from, since he is free from all of that attachments that made him pursue dharma, artha, kama also. So now he doesn't seek all. And Bhagavan Shankara has written many books, many commentaries on the Upanishads which speak on Vedanta to expound its philosophy. He wrote this Tattvabodha. And in the Tattvabodha, how did we start? Understand. Started from where we are, what we know about ourselves, isn't it? He says there is this ātman. For the one who is a mumukshu, tīvra mumukshu, I am explaining this. For one who is not, ideally it should not be spoken to also. But for the one who is sincerely seeking this, I shall expound this tattvam, knowing which he should be liberated from all suffering. He will come to realize his self. And how is the self? So there is a beautiful definition given. He begins from, see, it is other than sthula sharira, sukshma sharira, karana sharira, and he explains to us what that is. And when we read that, we understand, oh, I identify myself as this body. I know my body. Then I am identified with myself at my energy level. He speaks of pañcakośas. No? So when I am identified and I am engaging, see, if you just pay attention to the way we express ourselves. Sometimes we are expressing from manomaya kosha. Sometimes we are expressing from vijnanamaya kosha. Sometimes we are expressing from pranamaya kosha. Sometimes we are only speaking about the sthula sharira, annamaya kosha. Isn't it? This way we are all engaging all the time with each other. And while I am identified, I also allow others to be identified with their koshas. I am also looking at others through their koshas only and identifying a person as such and such. Oh, you are asking about that Sheila. She is very fair. She is very tall. Oh, you are asking about Jai Shri. Jai Shri is short. She is dark complexion with curly hair. So see how, and then we also describe them as introvert or extrovert. We describe them as, oh, she's an intellectual. She has a lot of knowledge. She speaks logically all the time. She is very practical. So what is all this? Identification with the different koshas only. And in this we run our entire business. Isn't it? In that there is happiness, sadness, everything is fun. There is happiness or lack of it. That is the Anandamaya kosha, which is all prevalent. When I'm hungry, I'm not happy. When I've eaten food, I am satisfied. So Anandamaya kosha is constantly expressing. It's the subtlest. So this ātman is beyond the sheaths. It is along with the koshas, it is not the kosha. Kosha is a covering. And then it is a sakshi of the three avasthas. Three avasthas are the three states of experiences that we go through, which is Jagrat, waking state, Swapna, dream, and Sushupti, deep sleep state. Everyone's experiences this way. It doesn't matter whether we believe what philosophy or religion we belong to. This is universal. He says it is just a witness to that. Isn't it? So it is not even that. It is not the three avasthas. Oh, so these are the things we know about ourselves. These are the things we are constantly engaged in. But this is not the Atma. How is the Atma? Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. Existence, consciousness, bliss. Its very nature, Swarupa is this. Swarupa Lakshana is this. How is it of the nature of existence? Do you know of a time when you were not there? You have always been there. You can never say, this was the time I was not there. Who knows? How do you know? And even in deep sleep, you as consciousness was aware that the body and mind slept and there was no experience available at that time. Right? And existence and consciousness go hand in hand. They are not two separate qualities of the other. Existence itself is conscious. Right? Just because as Sakshi you are there, you are witnessing everything because you are conscious. There was never a time when you're not conscious. It's of the nature, absolute knowledge. You know that there was Jagrata Avastha where all the senses were working and you were transacting in this world of experience. Then you know you had a dream where you were not aware of your body or anything of the gross level, but the subtle body you were engaging in. And then you know of a state when there was absolutely no stula sharira, no sukshma sharira. It was just nothing, a void. It was void of any experience. And it was blissful, but you were ignorant of that bliss at that time. That is the deep sleep state. Right? And you went into a state when the waking and the dream were not there. But when you wake up, everything comes back. You don't have to be told who you are again. Which means they all went into this Karana Sharira just to be born again. Sprung out the moment the alarm went or you had to wake up, you woke up, you don't have to ask, who am I? Where have I come from? You know exactly who you are and what you have to do for the day. Nothing has changed in the waking state. Because nothing has changed and it lasts long, you think waking state is real, when actually it is not. So, as Sakshi, you are existence plus consciousness. Consciousness can never be non-existent. And this way you can say, and existence also. How will you say that I am there? It is because it is conscious. Both are one and the same. Existence, consciousness is such it is goes together, and it is of the nature of bliss. It is dear to itself. Now, whatever you see, you do in life, whatever it is you're pursuing, why do you do it? Because you like it. It is dear to you, right? So this is not gone from anybody. When we do a group photo also, you are very happy, nice group, we got together and we all click a picture. Let's do group photo. Once the photo comes, what do? First thing, natural it is, we look for ourselves. Where are we? How have I come out? Oh, my eyes were closed. Oh, I was looking somewhere else. Yeah. We love that group, but we are not looking at all the others first, how they are looking. I want to see where am I? Have I come out? Ah, there. Okay. Now I will look at others. We love ourselves. We are dear to ourselves. And it is of the nature of bliss, which means at any point of time, you're unhappy, you want to change things, isn't it? Whether you're pursuing dharma, artha, or kam. A thing is unpleasant, you want to change it, which means it is unnatural to you. Therefore, Bhagavan Shankara is saying, it is of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss. Okay. With that, he said, Evam Satchidananda Swarupam Swatmanam Vijaniya. He stopped the last class here, isn't it? Thus, one should know oneself to be of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss. See, I know that I am always dear to myself, aham asmi. So, we should constantly remember this. Right now, we need to be, we are informed of this, isn't it? No, we must keep reminding us ourselves of this. Because this is what the Shastras do, and the teacher does, informs us. Atmavare Shrotravyam. First, you have to hear about it. Oh, there is this. I never looked at it before like this. So, this information must be given. Then, Atmavare Mantavya. You must reflect upon this. Once you have reflected upon this, Niridhyasitavyam. You should meditate upon. So, therefore, listening, reflecting, and meditating. Meditating is slowly, you have to live it. You have to begin to live it. This is the way it should be. Now, as of now, it is indirect knowledge. This should become direct knowledge. Now we are hearing from the Acharya, we are hearing from the books, from the scriptures. And so it is still indirect. Once I reflect, contemplate on this, and I am always with this idea, and I begin to function from here. Nobody asks you to stop acting. Bhagavan Krishna says, don't you, nobody can stop acting. You have to keep acting. In fact, the body is kept healthy only when it is constantly working. The body needs physical action, exercise. So you must exercise the physical body. The mind too requires to be thinking. Now, it is of different characters. It is distracted very easily. One must try and control the mind to focus, concentrate, and slowly get into meditation. But all the time knowing that I, as Atma, I precede all of these things. I am there, therefore intellect is there, therefore mind is there, therefore body is also there. I precede, which means all of the others exist because I am there as consciousness. This we must keep in mind. So if we have come, he has explained this much to us. Now, why did we do this recap is now, when we spoke of ourselves, we are talking of the jiva or the microcosm, vyashti level, individual level. Now he takes us to the samashti, collective. He is speaking about the world itself. How did it come? This world of creation. There are many theories of creation that is put forth. But what do the Shastras say? That Bhagavan Shankara is saying. So we must look at it so that all our doubts are clear. And then we must be able to correlate how not only is the Sthula Sharira only this body of mine, but wherever there is Annamaya Kosha, wherever the bodies of every other being is also Sthula Sharira. We must be able to, relate the significance of what you're saying to the entire universe and how the universe itself is formed. This we are getting into. So once he does this, he is comparing later. He has to bring in the oneness aspect, We have to understand that. How is the aikyam? How do I say aham brahmas? He will say that is the tattva prakaram he is taking us. Viveka prakaram he has to do. How do we discern this? That is where he is leading us. So today we will look at the universe. There are three aspects of life. The individual jiva is there. We are transacting, so we know of this world, this jagat, and we know if there is this jagat, there is a cause. Ishvara is there. There is a creator. There is some super intelligence, you call it, whatever you want to. Isn't it? So here, the individual and this world also must have a cause. What is this cause? We call that cause Ishvara. Okay, but we will look into this. We will just see. Here, Bhagavan says, it is that the individual is part of the world. We are all part of this world. We are not existing independently of this. And we can also not exist without this world. So we are going hand in hand. We must explain. We must get to understand our nature. So Bhagavan here says, Atha Chaturvimshati Tattvopatti Prakaram Vakshyamah. Now we shall explain the evolution. Chaturvimshati, that is 24 factors. Evolution of this Uppatti. Evolution, creation. How is this? The rishis counted 24 factors that constituted the world. They are the 5 great elements, Pancha Mahabhutas. The 5 sense organs of perception, Pancha Jnanendriya. The 5 sense organs of action, Pancha Karmendriyas. The Pancha Pranas, 5 pranas. And the 4 thought modifications. We have Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara, and Chittam. Chittam is memory. It is not that Sat Chit Anandaka Chit. That Chit is half a tha with the halant, the tha is written. Sat Chit Anand. Chit is consciousness. Chittam, Chitta double tha is memory. So this way they say the world is constituted of these 24 factors. It applies to the world. And now we are all part of this world. Though we consider ourselves as Very great. Our ego is like that, Ahankara vritti that comes, that identification and attachment is so strong. I feel I must conquer this world. I am superior. And there is another ego which says, no, I am nothing in this world. Everybody is superior to me. I am inferior. There is another vritti which says I'm equal. None of those actually. It is just there. And we are part of the world just as everything else is part of all of this. So, Brahmashraya Sattva Rajas Tamo Gunatmika Maya Asti. Brahmashraya, depending on Brahman. Sattva, Raja, Tamo Gunatmika. Three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas Guna. These are the three gunas, tamasic. Gunatmika, Maya Asti. He's saying that depending on Brahman exists Maya. Maya exists depending on Brahman, which is of the nature of three qualities, three dispositions, three tendencies of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And this, we must understand that Maya is dependent on Brahman. It cannot act independent. In fact, it is the very Shakti or energy of Brahman itself. Brahman can be without Maya, but Maya for its existence requires Brahman. And this Maya, before all the names and forms came, their truth alone existed. Truth is changeless, it cannot become anything other than itself. It is of the nature of Satchit Ananda, but yet we see that there is something coming out of it. World exists, it is ever changing, and it is sorrow ridden. So, how is this seemingly Brahman, which is changeless, changing? Isn't it? To explain this alone, this concept of Maya has been postulated. Vedanta postulates this concept of Maya. From the standpoint of truth, there is no world. Yet we experience it. This is. So, this Maya, when we speak of that classic example of Rajosarpa, snake and rope, we see a rope and we think it is a snake. The rope cannot create a snake, but somewhere the snake is experienced. Right? So it is like this. Okay? So therefore, to understand how this experience occurs, as far as a rope is concerned, there was never a snake and there can never be a snake on it, actually. But it's still experienced. That is why Vedanta postulates the concept of Maya. What is this now? Maya has two powers. Classically, it is called. The Avarana Shakti, which is the power to cover or wheel. It's a wheeling power. What does it cover? This covers the truth. It wheels the truth. And because it wheels the truth, we are ignorant of the truth. Truth by itself cannot create the world. It has to be hidden so that something can be created. And then it has this projecting power, which is Vikshepa Shakti. So Maya has two powers, Avarana Shakti, which is covering or wheeling the truth, and Vikshepa Shakti, which is projecting something else in its place. Where the rope was, snake is seen, projection. And it manifests many inherent impressions. It cannot do that without the wheeling power. So, ignorance of the rope should precede the projection of snake vision. We didn't know that was a rope, therefore I saw a snake. I think I'm very knowledgeable when I know that I know the snake and I saw the snake. I'm very knowledgeable. But we have not gone deeper than that. I didn't know that it was a rope at all. That was hidden. Isn't it? So this truth, when this truth is the Shakti of Brahman, and this truth, when endowed with the Shakti, is called Ishwar. Okay, because it's the creator of the world. So we are a very theistic monism. We are not atheistic. You must understand this. That's why the concept of Ishvara is there, definitely. So the creative power of Ishvara is worshipped as Shakti. And the power of Maya is unfathomable. What is absolutely we will think is impossible can be made possible by Maya. Aghatita ghatana ghatiyasi Maya. The Shakti can make anything possible. So here we see that Maya depends on the truth for its very existence. But Maya is made up of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamoguna. And these are, for any creation or in any creation, you will see that there is two causes, the material cause is there and the efficient cause. If we make something, we create something, we create a roti, we make a roti, you need the atta, you need the water to knead the dough first of all, and then you have to you need all the instruments, equipment to make the roti. And then when you taste it, you have eaten it, there is a satisfaction it brings about, and there is this knowing of whether it was made well, not made well, whether there was salt, no salt, isn't it? But efficient cause as well as the intelligence to know how to use the material is different. It is sub, whereas the material itself is gross. So both are required. And both of these come from Maya. Maya, which is made up of the three gunas. So from the Maya itself is Trigunatmika. From these three gunas, Bhagavan continues to explain that the five great elements, Pancha Mahabhutas, are born. Tata Akashah Sambhutah Akashad Vayuhu Vayos Tejah Tejas Apah Adhabhyah Prithvi. From that Maya, which is made up of three gunas and dependent on Brahman, is born space. From space, air. From air, fire. From fire, water. From water, earth. Space being the first element, very through the power of Maya it is created. It is the subtlest of all elements. It has the quality of sound and can therefore carry sound waves. How do you come to know that there is space? When we open our eyes, we say something is here, something is there. There means far away, Here means close by. The sound I heard, where did it come from? It will tell me space. It will show me the concept of space. I am able to identify space because they were far away. I couldn't hear. No, we need a loudspeaker because it has to travel through that space and reach the person, right? So with this, we can infer space. From space came air, which is less pervasive. Air has its limitation. It is not all pervading as much as space. It is lesser than that. It has the qualities of sound and touch. Therefore, it can be heard and felt. Even if I'm inside the room, but if a huge breeze is blowing also, hey, I can hear that. And it can also be felt. But I can't feel space. Space is very subtle. Right? Like that, fire emerged from air. It is less pervasive than space and air. It has the qualities of sound, touch, and form. It is heard, felt, and seen. We have seen the Jnanendriyas. Perception happens because of Agni, the light is there. Water came next in order and is even less pervasive, which means it has become now grosser. One is grosser than the other. Water has qualities of sound, touch, form, and taste. We all love the sound of waterfall, no something. That's why people keep these small waterfalls even in the homes and put it on. And just that stream of that water gives a very soothing effect. So we like it. It can be heard, it can be obviously touched. And it can be seen as a river, it can be seen as a waterfall, it can be seen as an ocean, whatever. And it can be tasted. Water is tasted. Even though it is tasteless by itself, all taste is possible because of the beauty. The last is the earth, which is the grossest and least pervasive of the five. Okay. It has the qualities of sound, touch, form, taste, and smell, and can therefore be heard, touched, seen, tasted, and smelled. And so these subtle elements are called tanmatras. They cannot be perceived by our sense organs. Only when they grossify can they be perceived. So fire is grossified enough that we perceive, and because of light we can perceive other objects. Water is perceived, earth is perceived. Air and space is not seen through. So this is how. Here we must understand that all of creation comes from these five Panchamahabhutas. These Panchamahabhutas are dependent. They can be the material cause and the efficient cause of this world. And they are dependent on the truth consciousness, Brahman. So, Brahman is all pervading. Because wherever you have space or any of the other elements, there has to be, it is dependent on consciousness. So consciousness is the subtlest of all, and it is the most pervading of all. If there is space known, already existence is there. Existence, consciousness, bliss, or Brahman holds space. Now you imagine what it can be. Because the closest example to Brahman is space. How is space? First of all, it is not seen. You cannot know it through your senses. It cannot be touched, felt, or whatever. And it cannot be cut. It cannot be polluted. You cannot burn it. You cannot wet it. You cannot dry it. It is all pervading and it holds for everything to be in it. And yet it is untouched by all of it. Isn't it? If you just meditate upon this concept of Akash, ether, space. It allows for all the breeze to be there, air to flow, fire to burn, everything, water to flow, mountains to break and volcanoes to erupt, everything it allows. It itself is untouched by anything that is happening. And this space is considered all pervading. That consciousness which is pervading even space is holding space, allowing for space to exist in Brahman. That is Brahman. That is the truth. Truth allows for this to happen. So, when does Maya create the 5 elements? The 3 qualities in Maya, when they are in Samya Avastha, nothing is happened. There is no creation, no. But somewhere there is disturbance, or we can call the balance is lost. Then we see some creation. And the process of creation begins. Okay, so we have understood now. We are talking about the universe, the world outside, Jagat. And we are all part of the Jagat only. Okay. So now we go into the evolution of Sattva. We will understand. We understood Sattva is coming because Maya exists and dependent on Brahman. Now the Sattva itself, Sattva aspect, what does it constitute? We shall understand. एतेषां पञ्चतत्त्वानां मध्ये आकाशस्य सात्विकांशात् श्रोत्रेन्द्रिय सम्भूतम्, वायोः सात्विकांशात् त्वगेन्द्रियं सम्भूतम्, अग्नेः सात्विकांशात् चक्षुरिन्द्रियं सम्भूतम्, जलस्य सात्विकांशात् रसनेन्द्रियं सम्भूतम्, पृथिव्याः सात्विकांशात् घ्राणेन्द्रियं सम्भूतम्. What is he saying? Among these great 5 elements, etesham panchatattva, out of now all of these panchamahabhutas, great 5 elements, space, air, fire, water, earth, contain all 3, sattva, rajas and tamogunas. Out of the sattvic aspect of space, the organ of hearing, the ear itself, evolved. Okay? From the sattvic aspect of air, what? Touch, skin evolved. The organ of touch, skin evolved. From the sattvic aspect of fire, the organ of sight, the eye evolved. From the sattvic aspect of water, the organ of taste, the tongue evolved. From the sattvic aspect of earth, the organ of smell, the nose evolved. So here also, the subtle elements, tanmatras, create these sense organs, and they also enjoy the subtlety. The main characteristic of sattva guna is knowledge, receptivity. So here, naturally, we see organs of perception are born out of the sattvic aspect of the 5 elements. Each element has its own special quality that we found, from the sattvic aspect of space, the sense organ of hearing. So sound is known. That way, we see that sense organs of perception are born from the sattvic aspect of each of these 5 elements. Sattvic aspect of space, hearing, sound, ear. Sattvic aspect of air, the sense of touch, skin. Evolution. We are talking of evolution of all these senses. How did it? It has all come from sattva guna. Knowledge or perception of these various senses arises from the sattva guna of the Panchamahabhutas. Then we go on. Etesham panchatatvana samashti sattvikancha mano buddhya ahankar चित्तानंत अंतःकरणानि संभूतानि संकल्प विकल्पात्मकं मनः निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धि अहंकर्ता अहंकारः चिंतन कर्तृ चित्तम मनसो देवता चंद्रमाः बुद्धेः ब्रह्मा अहंकारस्य रुद्रः चित्तस्य वासुदेवः. Here he says, from the total sattvic aspect of these 5 elements, the sattvic aspect of space he spoke about, sattvic aspect of air, of each of these elements create one sense organ of perception. Now, collectively, the sattvic aspect of all 5 great elements put together create the Antahkarana, inner instrument, which is the mind, intellect, ego, and memory. So wherever you find mind, intellect, ego, and memory of whichever human being or prani, you should know it comes from the collective sattvic aspect of the Panchamahabhutas. The mind is of the nature of indecision. Sankalpa vikalpatmakam mana. Indecision. Indecision also another thing. It is like always in doubt, confusion. Oh, Gita class is going on. Should I attend or not attend? Will the timing be suitable? Will I be able to go or not? If I'm not able to go, what do I do? If I'm able to attend only 2 classes and not go for the third, what do I do? So should I enroll or not enroll? Always. Should I do it now or should I do it tomorrow? I want to see a movie. Should I go today or tomorrow? Which day, which show? Will I get a ticket? So many things. No? Vacillation. It continues. Then you say, no, this movie, I don't like that actor, so I'm not doing. But because of I don't like that actor, should I not go? So many questions arises. Moods, likes, dislikes. Today I'm not in the mood, therefore I got a ticket, but I'm not. That also comes, isn't it? Gita class is going on. I always wanted to join. But what happened today? I'm not in the mood. Therefore, I am not attending. So, and here he says, this all the time. I want to do. I don't want to do. Should I do? Should I not do? Making up the mind and then I'll get up tomorrow morning. Definitely I'm going to get up. 5 o'clock, I will begin with my yoga practices. 5 o'clock, the alarm goes. Let me just get 5 more minutes of sleep. No? And when that 5 o'clock alarm goes, you know you only have put that alarm and you're angry with yourself for having done this. Why did I think of it? I'm so sleepy. I want to sleep for 10 more minutes. I just switch it off. Who made the sankalpa of getting up? You only have done. Now vikalpa has started. And you are now upset. Then you say, let me just sleep. You switch it off. You go, I've gone off to sleep, and when you wake up, oh, it is already late. I will start from tomorrow. Another sankalpa. So this way, this is the month. And you know what he says here? The presiding deity of the mind is the moon, Chandrama. You see the kala of the Chandrama, the various, this is the mind only. See, it all has effect. Huh? The mind has the effect. See how the oceans, low tide, high tide, huh? It creates like the mind, sometimes it is high, sometimes unhappy, sometimes happy. Huh? And you will see the connection. Very many people say, isn't it? When it is time for Amavasya or Purnima, some people begin to think differently. It affects, the moon affects. They already knew this before we were discovering this for a fact. So the moon is the presiding deity of the mind. The phases of the moon keep changing like the mind, isn't it? So how the moon affects the mind can be seen. Guruji used to say, you see, that is why probably it is called lunatic asylum. Lunar phases seen there. But I was wondering how did it match the name? No? We say somebody is very colloquially, you say if somebody is disturbed, he's a loony. Lunar, he has a lunar cycle. So also it is seen that among patients, that there is an increase in mental activity or disturbance during new moon or full moon days. Also, most psychosomatic diseases worsen at that time. Psychosomatic is something that is created in the mind. Physically, nothing may be wrong, but one begins to think that one is sick. This kind of a tendency also depends, on the. So then he speaks of the buddhi. And buddhi is how? Nischayatmika. Buddhi, thoughts in a state of decision, constitute the intellect. Reasoning, observation, conclusion. I have decided I am getting up in the morning. Then I put the alarm for 5, and when it is 5, wow, I must get up now. This is the intellect. Getting up and doing. Ideally, the intellect should rule over the mind. Huh? But in many of us, the mind only rules the intellect. So why have you taken this? I liked that, so I did it. I wanted that, so I did it. Is that the right thing to be done and so you did it? How many of us have done things because it's the right thing to be done? No? So it requires a discipline. So this intellect, the presiding deity of the intellect is the omniscient creator, Brahma. All knowledge and creative ideas arise in the intellect. Brihaspati, the guru of Devatas, is also considered the deity of the intellect. Okay? Because guru gives us knowledge. Even Surya is considered, the sun god is considered to be the deity of the intellect. In some, you do come across that. So now this is the difference between mana and buddhi. Both are nothing but flow of thoughts. They are thoughts only. But the quality of thoughts varies. Therefore, we call it mind and we call it intellect. Then we have the ego. Ego is what? That sense of I identified and attached to the thought, to the intellect, to the mind, through the emotions, through the pranas, through the body, whatever. And it thinks I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. This ahankar here does not mean pride. Usually we think that we say one is ahankari, he is very proud. No. Garva is pride. But ahankar is this deep sense of doership. Even the ones who are not proud have the sense of doership. And this attachment, I doubt, I decide, I remember, I am angry, I love this idea, this is my idea, etc. Constantly attaching that this is me, this is who I am, this is how I want. So the ego is the same. I, it goes on. It connects to the self as the three bodies. I am who? Sthula Sharira. I am Sukshma Sharira. I am Karma. It connects to the pañcakośas. Constantly identified with that only. It doesn't know. And the deity doesn't know the nature of the truth. Because if the moment that is seen, Maya will dissolve. If there is truth, Maya will dissolve. Maya rests on the covering of the truth. When the truth is discovered, Avarana Shakti is lost. Then there is no more projection of I. And the presiding deity for ego is Rudra. Rudra, aspect of Shiva. And Shiva is, the Lord of Destruction. He makes you cry. Ego makes you cry. Ego only creates all unhappiness and suffering. So when there is suffering, when I'm not happy, I'm only suffering, this comes, you should know it clearly. As a student of Vedanta now, this is my utter ego expression. Full manifestation of my ego. Catch yourself. Pay attention. This is not who you are. You are such an Ananda. I forgot. I forgot. I have to remember. No? Until this clarity has not come. This will continue. Then he speaks of chittam from the collective sattvic aspect of all five elements is created this Antahkarana. The Antahkarana constitutes of mind, intellect, ego and memory, chittam. The function of reflection and recollection is chittam. All experiences are stored as impressions and can be recollected, It is stored as impressions in our mind. And then it can always be recollected. And then when we don't remember, what do we say? Oh, I forgot. My memory power is very poor. When you remember everything, sharp memory, we say, isn't it? Meaning, I can recollect all of those impressions. So it is like a data bank in the computer, So it is based on all the information alone that we can think. And Vasudeva is the deity of chitta, memory. Vishnu is said to wield sattva guna. Only when we are calm and sattvic can we clearly reflect and easily remember facts. Even when we are doing something, if we are calm, we are receptive when lot of sattva guna is present, the impression is clear and you will also be able to recollect. Why most of us are not able to recollect is because sattva guna at that time is missing. So you see, so we studied now about how evolution of this Jagat happens because of Maya. Maya has two powers, Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti, one which is to cover the truth, and in covering of the truth, some projection is made. So you have this whole world of names and forms arising. It's like a movie suddenly created in front of you. And then he goes about how the five great elements come from these three gunas. Maya itself is three gunas put together. All the time the three gunas are there. And from the sattva aspect of each of these, you have each of these pancha mahabhutas, you have the organs of perception, which is simply there. Wherever you notice this perception, it is the sattva guna of the individual element. Collectively, the sattva guna of all the five great elements put together, you have the Antahkarana. Wherever you see Antahkarana, mind, intellect, ego, and memory constitute the Antahkarana. And the presiding deity of mind is Chandrama, moon. The presiding deity of intellect is Brahma. Presiding deity of ego is Rudra. Presiding deity of memory is Vishnu. Okay? So we'll conclude here for today. And understand this is samashti. This is the macrocosm that he's speaking about. It implies the micro also. But we get to understand how the entire creation now is functioning. Wherever you see expressions of this, you must be able to relate it to the five great elements. You must be able to relate it to the gunas. We shall conclude here for today. See the remaining verses in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti